Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome. So today we are doing some first impressions. So I've been accumulating a couple of bits here and there and I thought I would incorporate them into a video. I'm very excited. We have the new blushes by NYX, we have the new Fenty gloss bomb, whatever it's called, and the Rare Beauty powder and a couple of other things. So there is one or two second impressions because there's just certain things that I haven't picked up, or just I haven't really been buying as much as I normally do. So yeah, I've already got my foundation, which is the Sleek In Your Tone. This is one of my favorite foundations of the year so far. I really recommend it, but I thought I would just use it as a base because it's one that I trust and one that I use quite often. So for a concealer, we're going to go in again with the Made by Mitchell Brighten Concealer. So I believe the first time that I used this was with the tint balm, and the balm, when it comes to like, not the balm, sorry, the moisturizer tint, that is not kind of the best of coverage for my skin because I have rosacea and I have very like red pigmented skin. So for me to use something like that tint moisturizer with something like this kind of didn't really bode very well. So I thought, let me use this with a foundation that I really like using. So yeah, this is a Brighten concealer in the shade IBR2. And I think this is very bright for me, like very brightening. And I'm not one to use super brightening under eye concealers just because I don't like looking constantly like surprised, like when my under eyes are like popping. Like I think that trend is a little bit much in my opinion. Like I feel like it's not for me. So I'm just going to go with a sponge. I'm going to go light-handed. It is a very warm day today, so I have my fan on and I'm already starting to sweat, but I know this foundation will do really well for me. I'm just obviously trying out so many different products today that I kind of am intrigued to see how they would work in this type of weather. Like this foundation is something that I use when I go to work anyway because I need it for longevity and it works really well. And then with this concealer, of course, the whole point of it is to be a brightening concealer. So if you don't want anything that is going to make you look like you're super surprised all the time, this might not be for you. And I've seen some people not be the biggest fan of it, which is completely fine. I'm just very intrigued to like, you know, test it out with an actual foundation as opposed to a tip. Okay, so one thing that I might like have an issue with it is that I feel like this is not necessarily a concealer for me in the sense of how I would normally conceal. So of course with a brightening concealer it's mainly used for under eyes, but with me I like to use it all over the face. So now I have a really bright forehead, I have a really bright chin, and I kind of feel like I would rather have a concealer that I can use like all together because I don't want certain points in my face to be highlighted, because that's why I would have like a normal highlighter or I would have something else. But you know what? It's nice on the skin. It blends out. It just makes me, it's not my type of vibe, if that makes any sense. Like it's not a type of concealer that I would normally go for. I think he still has on his TikTok or his website. I'm not sure. It was part of his like 12-hour a-thon, whatever you want to call them these days, because so many brands are doing them. It's such like a, just a massive thing now. But yeah, it's okay. Again, if you want something to pop, then this is for you, and it's slightly more affordable than certain other brands. So let's go into setting powder. So I actually have two setting powders. So I mentioned in the beginning that I picked up something by Fenty. So when I was buying it on Boots, they actually at the time had a sale with Fenty, which is a bit weird. So I picked up one of her Pro Filter setting powders because I'm always on the market to look for a good setting powder, and I've heard so many good things about this. So this is the Pro Filter and I got the shade Banana. So we have this, but then we also have the Rare Beauty one. So I basically got this the day it came out, and only now I have time to use it and to test it because I haven't had time to sit down, play with makeup. And if there's days that I've had off, I've been very tired. I've been trying to like get my body like dealing with this heat because I am very pregnant right now. I am like almost on the cusp of 8 months, so I'm slowly getting there, and just having time to like sit down and play with makeup and film is a rarity starting from, I'm sure, anytime soon. But yeah, I picked up the powder in porcelain, and yeah, I haven't even touched it yet. I haven't even had a chance to like film a TikTok or anything, so we're going to use one on each side because I feel like it's fair, because this has been sitting here for ages, and so is this. I know this is not a new product by any means, but it's new in my collection. So we're going to start off with the Rare Beauty one, and essentially this is the True to Myself pressed powder. So I've heard, again, decent things about this. I haven't seen many people talk about it. I don't know, I watch so many videos and stuff on people trying out makeup, but there just isn't many people that I've seen to test this. So I'm actually going to use a powder puff because I want to try it under my eyes, because my eyes, I've already creased slightly, mainly because of that concealer, and well, and because of the heat as well. But I do have very like wrinkly under eyes anyway. I know I should have done this sooner rather than me rambling on, but we're just going to go in with this. So we're going to take some on here, and we're going to do the face, and we are just going to set that in. I bought this on Space NK, and this is one of the most expensive like Fenty Rare Beauty products ever. This is like £30, and I was like, excuse me, why is this so expensive? Like, I honestly feel like I don't think I've ever spent £30 on a setting powder before, mainly because I don't ever spend that much money on many things. When it comes to makeup, it's a very selective amount of brands that I would spend that much money on. But, you know, I'm a big fan of Rare, and I've liked a lot of their stuff for a while. So I did want to try this. So I decided to pay in installments because that's how my life is going right now. But yeah, so far it's okay. I mean, I'm not going to be comparing it to many things, because when it comes to setting powders, it's very like dependent on what you need from it. So that is what the Rare Beauty one is. So we're going to go in with Fenty, and I'm going to be very careful because I've got my fan on, and because this is a loose powder, I do not want this to go everywhere. So I'm going to be a little bit careful. I didn't realize it comes with its own little powder puff, which is very cute. And I am going to take off the plastic, and again, be very careful. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to put it into the lid, because I don't know, do I want to use this little puff? I actually want to use my brush instead, because I feel like with loose powders, using a brush will always give me a bit more benefit. So we're just going to take not a lot, because oh my god, it's going to go everywhere. Yeah, I just want to test it out how it goes. So just going to tap that in under my eyes. Okay, you know what? They're both done quite a decent job. I feel like this one has definitely taken away like my under eye wrinkles much better than this has. Like here, I can still definitely see some of my lines, and that might just be my eyes in general because they are quite wrinkly. But looking at both ends, I mean, obviously, because this is a banana powder, it's going to get off. It's going to let off a bit of like yellow tone to it, but when I've used it everywhere, it kind of looks fine. It looks very smoothing on both ends, which is what I need, because when I put on setting powder, I like to look slightly cakey sometimes, because I really want to kind of lock everything in for longevity. So we'll see how it goes with everything and how the heat is dealing. I'm dealing with it okay so far because my fan is still on, helping me out. So let's go on to blushes, and I'm so excited for these blushes. So the NYX Professional Makeup Butter Melt Blushes. So the bronzers have been out for a couple of weeks, no, month or so, and I got mine on Beauty Bay, which these are actually available on, but I got them on the TikTok shop because you could get 2 for £11, which is pretty crazy. I mean, that's only when they have like a deal on or something. So normally I think it's like 2 for £14, 1 for £8, or $8.99 or something like that. But yeah, I decided to get two because why not? I'm only going to use one today because I don't feel like doing one on each side. But I mean, I got the shade Butter Than Before, and then I got another shade called Feeling Butter. So yeah, they're both the blushes. I'm going to go in with the deeper one today because I feel like we want to be a bit different, and they do come in such a big array of shades. They have like an orange one and lots of pink ones and stuff like that. But for me, I like to go mixture. I like to try out different shades. So I am gonna obviously go in with this one. I obviously have done a review on the bronzers, which I again mentioned before. I really love them. I think they're great. So this is what this shade looks like. Again, Butter Than Before, and I will show this in a future video. So let's get this on. I'm not sure, I mean, I'm sure these are going to be very pigmented, so I'm going to be very careful because I don't want to look like a complete moron. So let's build this up. Ooh, okay. Very deep. Very nice. Okay. We are gonna, yeah, we're gonna blend it out on each side, and I'm gonna make it look normal and not like a clown. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in with whatever I had on the Fenty powder brush and just kind of blend it in because that is very, very pigmented. And again, I know it's very deep for me, but I say this in like every video where I talk about a deep blush. I like to try different shades. I like to try different tones because, you know, everything works for so many different skin tones. And I think for me, yes, I think, you know, a pink would be fine or this would be fine. I'm not a big fan of the pink, of like pink blushes in general. So I like to kind of mix it up a bit. I'm actually going to go in with a bit of the Rare Beauty powder. I know I used quite a bit already, but I don't want to go in like too ham. So I'm kind of going to blend it in and not look like a clown because that is literally how I feel right now because these are so pigmented. Okay, so I've made myself look somewhat normal. I don't know how that's a thing. Off camera, I did put on a highlighter because I don't have a new highlighter by anyone to try. So we're going to go in with the eyes. And this is a Second Impressions by Revolution. So I mentioned in my initial review of this video that this reminds me of the Patrick Ta Dimensions 2 palette, which is one of my most sought after palettes ever. And one day I know I will pick it up. I just cannot justify £60+ on a palette, but this is the True Icon, and this is just a nice selection of like nude tones, and then you get 2 cream products for the eye as well, but I'm not going to use those today because last time I used them they were completely melted because it's so freaking hot outside now. So I'm actually just going to go in with some of like just the nude tones. I'm not going to do anything too fancy because again I've used this palette before and I use it off camera quite a bit. So I'm just going to start off with this shade just here to kind of make a bit of a transition. And then in the kind of part of my crease, I'm going to go in with this shade just here, which is slightly deeper. And as you can tell, this palette is very pigmented. I didn't even dip in that much when it came to that first shade, and it is already like there. It is very much there. I'm going to go in with this kind of nudier lighter tone to kind of make a slight wing and kind of blend out what I've got here because it is pretty deep on these corners. So now we're just going to end on a shimmer, and you know what, all these shimmers that I have tried are really, really stunning, and they're so freaking pigmented. So I am probably going to go in with this one just here, which is a bit lighter. These shades do not have any names, hence me pointing and not telling you what they're called. But yeah, this is really, really stunning. I like using this palette kind of just if I don't want to do anything too colourful with my eyes or anything. I don't want to do anything too extravagant if I'm going to work, which is not really a thing that I do often. It's quite rare that I would put on makeup when I'm going to work and stuff, but on the days that I do, I kind of like to mix around with a lot of the palettes that I use, but with this, it's such a nice kind of like nude palette, and of course I will buy the Patrick Ta palette one day. It is one of my makeup goals, but we'll get there one day. But this is basically if you want a really nice, I guess, dupe, and it was not even, I think it's just a little bit over £10, and you get so many shades, and they're super pigmented. Like, you don't even have to dip in that much for it to kind of go everywhere. So let's end on the lips. So for a lip liner, I'm finally going to try the Made by Mitchell Modern Melt. So this is in Be My Roubaix, I believe it's called, but this is a lip tint lip liner or something like that, I don't know. And then again, I've got the Fenty Bold. So we are just going to get this on first because I want to see what it's like. The tip is very, very tiny. I'm not going to go too ham because I think the shades might be slightly different. So yeah, let's see how this feels. It literally feels like I've got a marker pen on my face. I'm being so careful because these are meant to kind of like be a tint where they kind of stick to your lips as well. Okay, so I'm being very careful with this because it for what it's worth, right? It doesn't glide. So the way that Mitchell was kind of explaining it, it doesn't jolt, which is really good. So far that I definitely agree with that, but I don't want it to stain my lip because I'm going to work obviously in the next few days for the next in like I'm going to work tomorrow, and I don't want to be going to work and I've got this massive like lip liner all over me. But anyway, this is the lip gloss. What is this actually called? So this is the Gloss Bomb Stick, high shine gloss stick, called the MVP. So I've actually had this for a while. I did a TikTok on it, and again, because I haven't had a chance to actually sit down and film properly, I haven't done this on like my channel or anything. So we're just going to go in with this, and it is super creamy. So if you've not tried these, they are so soft. You will literally see as I put it on my lips, it will just go everywhere. Yeah, it's pretty, make sure it's not on my teeth. Very soft. And when I got this on Boots, it had literally just come out and they'd already put it on like a kind of discount, which was a bit funny because I think at the time, like, you know, Boots do a lot of like 20% off, 15% off, and blah blah blah, and this had already gone down to like £17, which I was like, I really want to try it, and it was my perfect opportunity. So yeah, this is my finished look, and the lip liner has kind of, it's kind of blended into it, so it's fine. So this is like a really nice kind of red moment that I'm appreciating. So altogether, we have some interesting products. I mean, this blush, right, it is my own fault that I have the deepest, it's not the deepest shade, but it's one of kind of leading up to the deepest shades. That's my own choice. I'm very happy with how pigmented this is because my god, I only dipped in like the tiniest amount and it exploded everywhere, but that's totally fine. Setting powders. So by looking at myself, I think the Fenty one is really nice as well. I know it's not a new one, it's not first impressions on it, but I mean, well, it's the first impressions for me, but it's not a new impression for anyone that's watching. I think it's really nice. It is very brightening, like obviously it's banana, so it's going to be very brightening. And with the Fenty, Fenty, oh my god, with the Rare Beauty one, I need to kind of see how it works with its own foundation maybe. And under my eyes, I am getting, still my wrinkles are kind of coming through, but I think it's meant to be kind of like a mattifying powder. So a lot of people will like do the videos where they're looking really oily and then they would put it on and it would look really mattifying. So I do have kind of like combination skin, so I do get very dry sometimes and I can get very oily, but as of recently I think it's just been a bit of both because of the heat, but it's looking fine. We'll see how it kind of goes for a while. And then with the lip products, mentioned that already, the Gloss Bomb thing is insane. Like, I know for sure that as soon as I drink something, it's going to transfer because it's not a liquid lipstick and it's not going to just settle down. We'll see how it goes with this and how it looks on my lips when I take everything off, because I don't want a massive line on my lips, but we shall see. But yeah, that is everything, and I hope you have enjoyed the video. Please let me know what you've picked up recently, what you've been enjoying, because I am very intrigued. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because I film and upload every time I get a chance to. Don't forget to follow me on any of my social medias, because I'm always active on there, and appreciate you sitting down and listening to me ramble on. Hope to see you very soon. Bye bye.